President Sisi announces adoption of Egyptian plan for Gaza reconstruction at extraordinary Arab summit. Egypt's foreign minister announces leaders for Gaza Management Committee for 6 months. And President Sisi meets with Palestinian President Abbas, reaffirms Egypt's support for Palestine and rejects displacements. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Qnews, bringing you the latest updates from Egypt. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has announced that the extraordinary Arab summit adopted an Egyptian plan for the reconstruction of Gaza. Upon the request of the state of Palestine, President Sisi chaired the extraordinary Arab summit dedicated to discussing developments pertinent to the Palestinian cause and means to support the Palestinian people. The plan aims to counter President Donald Trump's proposal for a Middle East Riviera by presenting a scheme for rebuilding the Strip without displacing its population. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the OIC, has reaffirmed its support for Palestine's accession as a full member of the United Nations. Speaking at the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, the OIC Secretary General Hussein Ibrahim Taha condemned efforts to displace Palestinians and dismantle UNRWA, stressing the need to end Israeli occupation and uphold the two-state solution. He also called for stronger solidarity in defending Palestinian rights and thanked Egypt for hosting the summit. Egypt's foreign minister has stated that the individuals who will lead the committee managing the Gaza enclave for 6 months have been decided. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdulhadi said that the committee would oversee humanitarian aid and temporarily manage Gaza, preparing for the Palestinian Authority's return. Arab leaders backed Egypt's $53 billion Gaza reconstruction plan, rejected Trump's Middle East Riviera vision. Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul-Gheit has announced that the Cairo summit reaffirmed Arab unity against Palestinian displacement and fully endorsed Egypt's $53 billion Gaza reconstruction plan. Abul-Gheit emphasized that the plan provides a flexible framework for Gaza's security and political future. The final statement prioritizes a ceasefire, supports international peacekeeping forces in Gaza and the West Bank, and upholds peace as the Arab world's strategic choice. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, reaffirming Egypt's support for Palestine and rejecting any displacement of its people. President Sisi rejected any displacement of Palestinians and all Israeli escalations in Gaza and the West Bank. He emphasized Egypt's commitment to implementing the ceasefire agreement and reiterated that the establishment of a Palestinian state along the June 4, 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital is essential for lasting peace. President Sisi also pledged continued support for the Palestinian Authority, backing reconciliation efforts, reforms including the formation of a community support committee and the appointment of a vice president for the Palestinian Authority. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has met with European Council President Antonio Costa, warning of the dangers of resuming fighting in Gaza and stressing the need for uninterrupted humanitarian aid. The leaders reaffirmed their rejection of Israeli attacks in the West Bank and any attempts to displace Palestinians. Costa also praised Egypt's role in implementing the ceasefire and welcomed the Arab Summit's adoption of Egypt's Gaza reconstruction plan. Discussions also covered regional stability, illegal migration and ongoing crises in Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Sudan and Somalia, emphasizing peaceful solutions to preserve unity and security. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has met with Lebanese President Joseph Aoun, reaffirming Egypt's steadfast support for Lebanon's security and stability. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Mohammed el-Shenawi stated that el-Sisi emphasized strengthening bilateral cooperation, particularly in economic development, and expressed Egypt's readiness to aid Lebanon's reconstruction efforts. The leaders also discussed implementing the ceasefire agreement and UN Security Council Resolution 1701, calling for the full withdrawal of Israeli forces from southern Lebanon. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has met with Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara on the sidelines of the Extraordinary Arab Summit, reaffirming Egypt's support for Syria's stability and unity. President Sisi reaffirmed Egypt's support for the Syrian people, emphasizing their right to stability and development. He stressed the need for an inclusive political process and reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to Syria's unity, rejecting any aggression against its territory. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has reaffirmed Egypt's strong support for Iraq and its people during a meeting with Iraqi President Abdel Latif Rashid on the sidelines of the Extraordinary Arab Summit in Cairo. President Sisi emphasized Egypt's readiness to participate in Iraq's development, particularly in infrastructure and energy. Both leaders reiterated their support for the Palestinian cause and backed Egypt's Gaza's reconstruction plan, emphasizing the need for implementation without the displacement of its residents. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and Yemeni Presidential Leadership Council Chairman Dr. Rashad El-Alimi have reaffirmed Egypt's unwavering support for Yemen's unity, independence and territorial integrity. The leaders emphasized that Yemen's security is directly linked to Egypt's national security as well as the stability of the Arab region and the Red Sea. President Sisi reiterated Egypt's backing for a peaceful political resolution to the Yemeni crisis, rejecting the use of force. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Health and Population Khaled Abdel Ghaffar has received a delegation from the European Union to discuss expanding cooperation horizons that contribute to the sustainability of Egyptian relief efforts for the Gaza Strip. Health Ministry spokesperson Dr. Hussam Abdel Ghaffar confirmed that the meeting reviewed Egypt's Gaza rescue and reconstruction plan, including medical aid and hospital readiness for wounded Palestinians. Discussions covered enhancing cooperation, rehabilitating Palestine's health system and providing psychological support, especially for children. In economic news, Egypt's non-oil private sector has maintained growth momentum in February. According to S&P Global's Purchasing Managers Index, the PMI data, Egypt registered 50.1 in February, slightly down from January's 50.7, which had been a 50-month high. Despite the marginal drop, the index remained above the neutral 50 threshold, signaling an ongoing improvement in operating conditions. This marked the first back-to-back expansion in over 4 years. Data from the Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics has revealed that Egypt's trade deficit expanded by 13% year-on-year in December 2024, reaching $4.15 billion compared to $3.65 billion in the same period the previous year. The increase was driven by an 11.2% 3.3% rise in imports, which totaled $8.11 billion, fueled by higher purchases of goods such as natural gas, which surged by 105.2%. On the export side, Egypt saw a 9.6% increase, with the total exports reaching $3.96 billion. This growth was supported by a significant 28.5% jump in petroleum products exports. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we've been covering. President Sisi announces adoption of Egyptian plan for Gaza reconstruction at extraordinary Arab summit. Egypt's foreign minister announces leaders for Gaza Management Committee for 6 months. And President Sisi meets with Palestinian President Abbas, reaffirms Egypt's support for Palestine and rejects displacements. That's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews for the latest developments. Many thanks for watching.